That's where I am at this point, and I have to say, fairness in advertising or whatever you want to call it. I want Baltimore to do better.
Yes,
I want Baltimore to be better,
yes.
And I don't want a period of time where there are recriminations and attacks, and we need to cut that out and just say, I made a mistake. I am sorry. I know that the appearance of a conflict of interest is just as damaging as the conflict itself. So I am fessing up, yes, and I will do whatever I need to do to restore your confidence in me. I mean, I could write the speech for her.
Of course you could. You're a great speechwriter, but I wonder if she would do something like that. And I suggest that she take that other $400,000.
Yes.
She gave them back $100,000. How many water filters for the water fountains in our schools could $400,000 buy?
Lots.
When
I don't know
when I asked her about it, because she lives right next door to me, one day she was driving by and I flagged her down. And I said, why don't you do something about the water fountains in the school? She said, well, I don't have money for that. I said, she says, Santa Lisa's, that's her department. She handles that. And I said, well, okay. Then it wasn't, 3 months later, she found $2.6 million to house, 4 horses?
Oh, yes.
For the police department so they could keep up some tradition. Nobody ever sees those horses, I guess. But we're paying $2.6 million to house horses, to stable horses, and our kids can't even drink from water fountains.
Always remember this. Write it down, folks out there. This sentence. We invest in what we value.
Yes.
Okay, just to repeat that. We invest in what we value. If you use that as your guideline for how the government should operate and how you should interact with your government officials, you should force them, strongly encourage them to abide by that particular sentence. And if what they have invested in is not your values, then you need to look for somebody else to represent
not only that,
you.
but in the meantime, make sure you let them know that those are not your values. What do we care about horses that are in the police department? We got enough problems with the cars they're driving, not catching criminals, and only even having camera on them when it's somebody that's a famous person or a white person. Any other time, the the closed circuit TVs don't work because they never show footage. Freddie Gray, there were closed circuit TVs all around there, and that footage has never been shown. The fix is in. We know that it's in, but we're never going to do anything until we get somebody at the head, who are not only, like you say, where even the Bible says, where your heart is, there your treasure will be.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I would like to say that the voting public is aware of everything that goes on and has an abiding interest.
You like to wish,
Yeah, that's one of my dreams. So we don't have an election for a mayor for another year. And my concern is that we're building a portfolio of activities undertaken by this particular mayor. And it is possible that the voting public will forget about this in a year.
Yeah, they do have amnesia. They do, Doc.
And so,
I mean, those Republicans got reelected, got put in office after in 2008. It was the greatest recession since the Depression, and they put them back in office. And all the things that Obama put in place to stop it from happening again, they have changed them back to the way they were, and they're trying to.
Consumers, added that, helping consumers.
Right. And people believe it. You know what, though, James? I'm going to tell you something. Man, the one I find most disturbing is when I hear black people call into the radio station in support of Trump. I don't know if they're not listening or they're aware of who this man is. This man is a devout racist, has always been a racist. His father was Ku Klux Klan. He has a long history of not renting to black people. The federal government sued him twice for that. Yes. He calls Africa a S-hole nation. Yes. Says he doesn't know anywhere where a black ruler is that the people have been successful. Yes. Of course, I kind of agree with him on that.
But we all live in huts.
But we all live in huts, and believe it or not, and you don't have to believe me, but the people of Nigeria is the highest educated ethnic group in America. And that includes the Jews. They are the highest educated, more graduate degrees than any other ethnic group. And so it's just to think that black people would do that. This man is getting ready to cut $875 billion from Medicare, close to $1 trillion in Social Security, and you're talking about you support this man? What on earth? If you don't need Social Security, that's one thing. But I guarantee you, if you black, there are many people in your family that not only paid into Social Security, it is their money. But then saying you're agreeing with this man who wants to take away and rob them of their life's earnings.
I ask people to evaluate your self-interest. What is it that this particular policy or this particular pronouncement is going to do to you? And what the oddity is that even though you know that somebody is saying, well, I'm going to take your health care away, I'm going to cut Medicare when you get older. All of those things are your self-interest. And you would say to the person who's implementing it, okay, that's fine.
That's just don't you find that amazing?
My brain, it does not compute. I do not understand it. And I look for candidate experience. And the Trump administration has shown experiences. I think Trump said that you have to have ID to go to the grocery store.
Yeah, you have to present ID to buy groceries.
So how is that relevant to my daily existence?
Well, you remember when Bush went to the grocery store and didn't near the common, out of touch with the common man. But you have black people that are saying that not good people that were marching down there in what was it, Charlottesville.
Yeah.
And people, actually black people, they just, what do you think possesses someone to think that?
Well, what I have observed is that they will pivot to, well, I'm making a lot of money now, and so my economic interests are being met. So I don't care about the rest of the stuff. It's not going to affect me because I got this contract or I've got this particular deal that I'm working, and as long as the money is green and continuing, then I'm not going to worry about the fact that this guy is a racist and views me in a completely bizarre and different way.
Negatively.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want you. They've got 2 black people working in the White House.
Oh, that's a surprise.
That's Kay Carson and the woman that was the party planner that they had there.
Well, she's not in the White House. She's in the regional office in Region 2, New York.
So there's only one white black person in the White House.
I don't know. I think Katrina Pearson works on the
we ain't seen her in eons.
She was working on the communications staff in the White House.
She was or she is? You don't know.
I don't know if she still is.
Wow.
But those were the faces of this administration. But of course we have a cabinet officer, Ben Carson.
Right. Who said that he hasn't seen racism rise up since Trump has been president. This man is totally
sometimes
an idiot. Something
you
happened.
Cannot make that was such an inane statement that you can't comment on it. I mean, you see things happening all over the country. You see 100, 200, 300% increases in hate crimes. And
death and terrorism, domestic terrorism.
Right. And it's not, the domestic terrorism is not being created by people that look like you and me.
That's right. No, they are brown or anything. They are all white. KKK is a terrorist organization. We know
correct.
it is, but yet it has never been labeled that formally. Why?
Well, I think both you and I know why.
We know why.
But Ben is now. I say sometimes I'm disappointed. Ben Carson is an actual insult to everything that I hold dear.
Yes, he is. And to think that he was once an icon
in
the black community. I wanted to tell y'all something else, too. You know, they say the Bible says that we will have the poor with us always. But it doesn't take away our responsibility when we pay our taxes to make sure that if we're trying to help them, that they're actually helped. Maryland public housing often falls short. State has second highest percentage of failed inspections in the U.S. Maryland has the second highest percentage of failed public housing inspections in the country, according to a government accountability report released Thursday. The report, which evaluated inspections by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, shows that Maryland properties failed 28% of the 329 inspections done between the fiscal years 2013 and 2017. The only jurisdiction that did work was the District of Columbia, both headed up by black administrations, which failed more than a third of its inspections. 24 of the 29 public housing properties that failed inspection in Maryland were in Baltimore, Cherry, Stricker apartments. At the other facilities in Frederick, Hagerstown, Silver Rock, Maryland, and Westport now earned the top scores in the state with 99 out of 100. Now, y'all, did y'all just hear that? Frederick, Hagerstown, Silver Spring, Rockville, Westport, and Allegheny County earned the top scores with 99% out of 100. The report did not drill down to the city or housing level scores, but according to the most recent HUD inspection data as of May 28th, inspectors rated West Baltimore Rosemont Public Housing Complex at 7440, Poplar Grove as the worst in the state. It earned a grade of 24 out of 100. Anything below 60 is considered failing. The data does not detail problems per location, but Baltimore City John T. Bullock, whose district includes Rosemont, said that he has heard of water damage and broken elevators among several other common complaints, and they're elsewhere across Baltimore. He said the city, with a high number of public housing units relative to the other parts of the state, presents particular problems in terms of getting timely maintenance and inspections, and that responsibility for conditions within the public housing resides at both the local and federal levels. Now, this is when Gilmore Homes, that's what them workers down there was down there making the women give them sex.
That was McCullough.
No, that was McCullough Homes.
Gilmore Homes are the areas near where Freddie Gray was killed.
Oh, okay.
Now, the interesting thing about those facilities, I would venture to say that most of the people that are listening to this broadcast have relatives or know someone or know someone who had a very positive effect on their lives. So I think what I'm trying to say is, out of those desperate conditions came some really good people.
Oh, I know. But you know the idea that that the white counties have perfect. I mean, they don't even fail. They got a 99% to 100 success rate, and here we are. We should be getting more money than them because we have more people. So it's just bad in the job. I know some people are going to be into Marcos. We're going to talk about this, but right now we want to talk to Ernest on line 1. Ernest, you have a question or comment, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to get back to the guns in school. I think you need to, if you would like to know the real truth about what's happening to the school police, it's Jennifer Egan. Street police doesn't belong in public schools, and she's a public defender. And she defends these children in school that have these ridiculous charges put on them by school police. And she also refers to an incident where 11 and 12 and 13-year-old female students was assaulted by a black school female police officer.
Mm-hmm.
They were first, one of them was grabbed by the hair.
Mm-hmm.
When she attempted to talk to him, and when she pulled away from him, the school police started hitting her in the face, in the head, with her fists, and then she pulled out a
taser.
No, a metal.
Oh yeah.
S-Pentoon. A retract was a big thing that they give police. And beat.
It's the new Billy stick, right?
Huh?
It's the new Billy stick.
Right.
The new club, right? Keep going.
It retracts and opens. It's metal. And beat those kids up against their head, causing scars and wounds. And when the teacher tried to separate them, the girls from this police officer, school police, she pulled out the mace and sprayed the teachers and the 3 girls. The 3 girls were related, and it's a lot of incidents like this.
But she's basing her whole argument on that? That Egan lady?
Hey, she's not basing a whole argument on that. That's just one incident.
Right.
Can't you figure that out?
Of course I can. I think it's asinine. I think it's ridiculous for her to say that.
It's ridiculous for children to be charged with robbery on minor stuff. That's where the prisoner pipeline starts at.
Absolutely, absolutely. It starts with a nickel dime in a bag that they get to go send them to jail for. That's where it starts from, or it starts from a tail light that the police stop for somebody that tail light could be working, but they lose their life. Thank you, Ernest. Ernest is a former policeman, and that we hadn't talked about that today, and we're not going to talk about it any further because I think that is all sealed. The state legislature decided that the police in Baltimore can't protect our children, but the people in Frederick County and Allegheny County and all those other counties, their policemen can protect their children because, as James says, where your treasure is where your heart is. And we devalue our children. So many of us, we don't think they're important. I heard somebody on the radio talking about abortion the other day, which I strongly oppose. But you know what? I don't have to live with that. That's not my, I don't have to live. I could never do that if I had a child. But then if you're not going to take care of them, wear a rubber. Use some protection. Just don't bring them into the world. Don't attempt to bring them in the world if you're not going to raise them. And I tell you, see so many children in the school that I'm in, some of them have nobody loves them. They don't believe anybody loves them. And when they see you and they know you love them, they will get up and run out of their class. They do it to me all the time just to get that hug, just to say, how was your day? And to talk to them and let them know that they are valuable. We got to love our children, y'all. We got to treat them as though they are the most precious thing on the earth.
Well, this is going to be a nice segue. I know you haven't announced it publicly yet, but sooner or later, I think we're going to have a discussion about what the churches are doing in terms of helping to sort of heal some of the wounds in the city. And I think that you will discover that there are some small pockets in this city that are actually trying to deal with, giving somebody a hug. I talked to my wife this morning about the I think the title of the show might end up being, of course I got to talk with you, Patrick, but life after a chicken box. Because we have young people now who know I can go get a chicken box, but they don't have anyone that's going to help them with some vegetables or with some salads or
because that's all their parents, they can't cook.
Exactly.
But I'm telling you, the schools are making a difference. Over there at Liberty, them kids get a piece of fruit, they get green vegetables, and I know the dietitian, and she tells me she travels all over the country to get the best food. They had a chicken fillet over there the other day, and it wasn't even meshed up. You know how they chop it and then put it back together? No, that was real chicken breast. And my kids, they eat a little bit. I don't care. They said, Miss Henderson, I ate off of that. So you ain't got no disease, do you? And I be hungry up in there, and they give me their food.
There is life after chicken boxes.
Oh, there is life after chicken box, but we got to educate. It's going to come through education. But I was reading the other day, and I forgot who it was, that said, you know what? We start our children off teaching them to walk. We praise them. Come on. And as soon as they start walking and they start getting their own feet and getting their legs stronger, then that all reverses. We don't praise them anymore. We don't encourage them anymore. And that is an important link that I want y'all to remember. You can't start off telling them how much you love them and hug on them all the time. And then when they get their legs and stuff and go start tearing that scarf off that table or poo-pooing in their pants, then you change all that. And instead of talking to them the same way you did to encourage them to walk. We know that we don't have much time here, but tomorrow at 11:30 here on Spirit 14, here on WOLB 1010 at 11:30, you don't want to miss the show. We got a big announcement to make. The Brother Messiah from the Marcus Garvey group we're going to make a big announcement tomorrow. Also on April the 29th at 6 p.m. I will be lecturing at the Peabody Conservatory of Music, and I'm going to be talking about the changing sound of church music. So if you're interested in coming to that, we would love to have you there. And I'm planning another one this year because the church is faltering. The church, we're losing so many members. People are not coming back to church, and I'm going to share a few things that I see that have proven to be helpful in stemming and stopping the flow. You've been listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WWIN. Say goodbye, James.
Goodbye, folks. Have a great day.
Yeah, we'll see and hear y'all tomorrow on WLB 1010 Baltimore. You've been listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on Spirit 1400. God bless. Have a great balance of the day.
This is not the time to go off course. WWIN Baltimore. WWIN HD Baltimore.
On the web at spirit1400.com.
Spirit 1400. The spirit of today's gospel.
The spirit of today's gospel.
You have to be up in 5 hours.